Hello, thank you so much for joining me today. It's Sasha Reed here. I am going to be teaching you how to do a shaker card with a bee theme. I'm focusing on these dies from Alina's shop, which are the bee themed dies, as well as I've got these hexagon dies that I picked up from Surprise Creation Store. I've got some other random dies here as well that from my stash, and this Dovecraft Be Happy stamp set, which I also have the matching paper for. First, we're going to start with a card base using our dies. We're going to pop it just over the edge so that it only cuts the sides that are sticking onto the paper, like so. So now we've got that nice kind of card base. Next, I was taking my paper pack and working out which colors go best with that colored paper and what layers and orders I wanted to put them in. So first, we're going to get a base layer to go on top of our card. And it's really nice with these layering dies because they just fit really nicely inside each other, or they're called nesting dies. Next, we want this circular die, which is the hexagon shape. And I picked this one because I've got lots and lots of circular shapes that I could use to kind of build a border around it, which is what I really wanted to do. Now here I'm just working out a good die to use to cut my shaker layers. And I wanted to do this so that it was easier to position my bits when we come to put it all together. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So I've got two pieces here, one acetate and one decorative paper. And now I'm building up my front layer. Now if you look to the right, you'll have seen a little sneak peek of what it's going to look like. Originally I die cut it and I didn't put the sticky adhesive on the back, and then I tried to glue it and it was just a soggy mess. So this is double-sided adhesive tape from Alina's shop. You get 10 sheets in a pack and it is my favorite. So I've just die cut it out and you can see the image there. It's got the center full and solid. And the best way I found to get these little faffy bits out is to use one of these brushes. And I've tried a few different brands, and the Sizzix one by far is my favorite and has lasted the longest and done the best job. So next we want to cut the center out of our little image that we've die cut because I want it to be like a frame around my little hexagon window. So I've just centered that in the center, put some purple tape down, which is a low tack tape, and run it through the Big Shot, and then we get this beautiful frame. And now because we've stuck the double-sided tape on it, it is self-adhesive and it sticks beautifully. Now, Sasha always has oopsies in every single thing, so you can see me trying to stick it down. It's going horribly wrong. I'm like, what is going on? I can't get it down. And then I realize my bloomin' giant fingers are just getting in the way. So I get the tweezers out, we work out a better solution, and I go to stick it down, but I still do it wonky. So forgive me, because if you ever get a card from me, you will always have a little bit of a wonky bit somewhere on the card. So at this point, I stick it down and go, ah. So we decide, right, we're going to stick something there. We're going to cover it up because it's not a disaster. It's an opportunity for a crafty project. I don't remember what the rule is. I'll put it on I'll put it on the screen just there. Anyways, now I'm running some double-sided tape around the outside of my image so I can stick the acetate down. It looks really lumpy, but once you peel it off, the tape is so thin that it's not lumpy at all. Always make sure to give it a good rub with your bone folder to make it nice and flat. This is Alina's double-sided foam tape, which I believe is 5 mm. When you want to stick this down, pull off the release sheet and it goes down like butter. You don't have to cut it and faff with little bits here and there. You can just stick it down. It is amazing. Now I'm just using up the rest of this sticky tape, which is why it's not got the backing on it, but you'll see in a minute that I put some more down. I leave the backing on because you don't want everything to stick to it. You don't want your sequins and things inside getting stuck. So I've just got my sequins and my gems here. I'm picking out what I like the best and then filling it up with however many I think would do. Now this is where cutting the same shape works a treat. You can just line it up in the center of that whole image and you know it's going to cover the back, or cover the front, sorry, so you can see through it. I've just stuck some liquid adhesive on the back of that for no obvious reason. It's just the choice I wanted to use. Peel off my release paper and stick it to the front of my card. And I love these layering dies because it's really hard to go wrong and get it wonky. And now I've die cut out all the shapes for my bee. I don't know if I've got the right colors. I have absolutely no idea. I wasn't sat there Googling what they should be, so they could be the wrong way around. But I felt like the wings needed a bit more bling, and I wanted to make the bee stand out a little bit more, so I did it on his antenna as well. And now the bee body is going to go right over top of the very tip of these wings. So I thought if I put a little bit of glue just there, that kind of helps hold them down. The body's going to go over top of those wings a bit, which is also going to hold them in place, which is quite handy. Now you could put a bit of foam on there as well and pop that body up and just kind of give it a bit more dimension, but I wasn't thinking about that at the time. And here I've got one of these brushes from AliExpress. They're just a makeup brush, and I'm just using it to apply a bit of extra color to kind of give it a bit more dimension, a bit more character. I cut all the pieces out apart from the wings with the double-sided tape again. So all I have to do is peel it off and stick it on, and we like it. We like simple and quick and easy. Double-sided tape, oh, my hero. I've also got this set here of the decorative strips, the sentiment strips, as well as a stamp set from Stampin' Up. And I decided I wanted to say just because, and so I stamped it out. Now, you'll see in a second, I put the E on and totally goofed it up because I pushed way too hard and had block really big. So I redid it, so you can see the one there is better. They're not perfect. They're a bit wonky, but you know, I just can't be asked. I just can't. It's just gonna be wonky. If I have to hand stamp you some words, it's just gonna be a bit off. Now here I'm gonna just do the edges so it kind of blends all together. I never have the right words for anything, so forgive me if I'm using the wrong crafty terms because I don't know what on earth they are half the time. But I'm just covering the edges and dusting them in some yellow. I then die cut out a whole bunch of the flowers that came in the die set with the bee. And I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just kind of going around the edge with that same brush and just applying a darker pink to kind of add a bit of character and dimension to them. Then using a glue dot from Lena's shop, I'm just sticking them all on. And yes, the center is sticky in the middle, but I'm going to cover it with a jewel in a second. So here's some foliage or foliage, whatever we say. I never get that word right either. And I'm just kind of mapping out what I want to do with all these twigs and flowers. And I decide actually I need a bit more dimension to the flowers. I don't have one of those bally tools that you can kind of roll your paper with and, you know, like stab it into a sponge bit and roll it. So I just decided I would use my fingers and kind of try and roll it a bit myself. So yeah, not the best, but it's alright. And then we go for some glue, because who doesn't love a good gluey mess? We're just going to apply some glue and start sticking twigs down. And we're just going to stick them all down and then realize, oh, that's not going right. And then, you know, knock your glue everywhere a little bit as well. And, you know, just rub it, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. So now I'm just sticking down all my flowers and kind of trying to arrange them. But again, as some of you know who are my followers, I don't really do flowers. I'm not very good with them. I love them. I absolutely love them. I kind of suck at them though. So I did a little flower arrangement to kind of balance out the bee or add a bit more contrast to the bee, complement the bee, maybe that's the word I'm looking for. And then I can stick my sentiments down. And this is where I remember I got fat fingers. Let's use the tweezers. And managed to stick it in and tuck it in quite nice. And I love how the front of this card turned out. Oh my goodness. I haven't been this happy with a card in a while. And it was really quick and simple. Once I worked out where I was going and what I was doing, really came together quite quickly. So the next thing I thought was we need to do the inside of the card. Oh, no, I dusted the edges of these flowers as well with my Wink of Stella. But I am going to add an inside layer just so that it's not this dark yellow. And I did the same again, and I've dusted all the edges so it kind of blends into that yellow cardstock in the background. And then stuck it all down with some adhesive. And now before you stick it in, it is always important to do your stamping in case you muck up your stamping, then you can redo it before you've stuck it in your card. So here's my stamping and I go, whoops, it's upside down. So at this point I decide I'll do two because I stuck it the wrong way around. So there we go. I just wanted one on the bottom, but because I did it upside down, I realized I'm going to have to do two. Oh, and at some point in this video, I changed my card direction and decided I was going to go to the top right where my fold would be rather than to the side, like that. And that little bit of erasing was a bit of a smudge I made. It was a really clever trick to use a sand eraser. Here's my envelope. I decided I wanted to add some character and blend it in with my card, or have it match my card is a better word. And so I've just stamped the bee on the front, and I've got the flower going on the envelope, and I managed to remember the right way round for that flower. And to add a bit more fun, because who doesn't like glitter and bling, I've gone and added some Wink of Stella to the front of that as well. So really quick, really simple card. It really did not take long at all, and it was just fun to make a shaker sparkly card. And I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel inspired and try it yourself as well. If you've got any questions or anything, please pop them down below. And please do make sure to subscribe. I really appreciate all of you coming to hang out with me. Thank you so much, and happy crafting. Bye.